YouTube, how's it going? This is a video that a lot of you have been wanting to see. I've had a lot of demand, a lot of inbox messages. Well, here it is, guys. This is a video that I've been working very hard on for the past couple months. This list first started, you won't believe it, with 63 bottles. Perfect for fall, and I thought could make this top 20 list. And then it finally went down to about 30 bottles this weekend, and I worked on it, and now we're down to the 20 that I think are suitable for my top 20 fall. For 2011, this is the designer list, of course. Now this list has a lot of faces that you've seen in the past in my videos. I've been doing this for about 3 years now. We have the 2009 list and the 2010 list. They're both top 10s. We're going top 20 this year. I'm going to put those links down below, actually, the 2009, 2010. If you just joined my channel, go take a look at those older videos. They do have some of these faces on there, some of these bottles, but there is other suggestions too, so definitely check it out and see how my nose has changed throughout the years. But this year, again, we got some regular faces, but we also got some new faces. You know, it's a top 20, and it gives me a little bit of more room, a little more cushion to bring in some underrated fragrances that I think are still great for fall. So it's definitely an exciting journey, and I do have a huge surprise for you guys. My top 5 is dominated by one fragrance house, and I mean dominated. Let's see if you can actually guess which house that is. I'm sure some of you can. You guys know some of my favorite juices, so definitely you can guess down in the comments before you actually see the end of the video. That would be actually interesting to see how many people get that right. So fall in Canada, in my area, you know, it's the end of September right now. We're looking at Celsius-wise temperature, you're looking at 25 degrees for a high, and then your low, it could go as low as 0 degrees Celsius. So it definitely gets kind of cool in the fall. You get a lot of rain, and you do get a lot of wind, and you definitely need to start wearing hoodies at night. You're bringing out the rain jackets, the wind breakers. You're wearing jeans more than shorts now. You're getting rid of the flip-flops. You're wearing shoes. I even saw some guy this weekend wearing a scarf. I was like, what's up with you? But this is my favorite time of the year for fragrances. You know, I'm bringing out my incense, my woods, my darker fragrances, and this is where I really enjoy it. Some of my favorite designer fragrances are in this list, by far. Definitely. Some of my heavy hitters are in here. Get rid of those weak summer fragrances. Let's get into the big stuff. So yeah, you know, there's leaves on the ground in Canada. It's kind of wet. It smells kind of earthy, very wet, earthy. The grass is wet, and you're definitely looking for a fragrance that'll warm you up a little bit. So you're going to see a lot of fragrances that do have a lot of projection and longevity, but there's still also ones that don't do that well in those categories, but they're great for snuggling up with a girl. Something that I am going to do a little different this year with this list is actually name off the actual note in these fragrances, because some of these fragrances, there's just 1 or 2 notes that really reminds me of fall, and I'll let you guys know. Maybe there's a background story with that note, or it's just something that just really reminds me of fall. So let's get to it. Let's do the top 20. Enough chatter. Let's get to it. Number 20 is from the house of Gaultier. Now, Gaultier usually doesn't make the fall or winter list, but this one, Gaultier Intense. Now, this is an EDP of the original Gaultier which makes usually my spring list. You know, the mojito vibe type of fragrance. This one is it. It's got great longevity, by the way. I really like this one. It's early in the testing right now. I'm still going to be reviewing this one probably in 2012, but great longevity. I think like 6 to 8 hours with this one, and even more sometimes. It still has that mojito vibe, but it's got a little twist to it. It's a little darker than the original. It's got a rum note, and it's got a rhubarb note. Now, rhubarb, for me, when I was young, my mom near Thanksgiving used to make a strawberry rhubarb pie. It was like tradition. That and a pumpkin pie. And I really enjoyed the taste of rhubarb with the strawberry. And actually in Canada here, some people grow in their backyards rhubarb, and I used to grab a stick and eat it when I was young. With the dirt and everything, why not? So that note, the rhubarb note, and there's a rum note that kind of in the background that really darkens this fragrance quite a bit. And those 2 notes, the dark Warm rum and the rhubarb fruity note really reminds me of fall. Number 19, YSL, Yves Saint Laurent, La Nuit de l'Homme. This has been in everybody's top 10 list. Last year I made my fall at number 7, so it dropped off a little bit. It does remind me of an Armani Code-ish. If you own Armani Code, you'll know what I'm talking about. And I really, really enjoy this fragrance. This one gets a lot of compliments, melts, gifts, you name it. This thing has, I think the note in here would be cardamom that really reminds me of fall. Number 18, this is actually a guy that hasn't been in any of my top 20 lists. Welcome to the club. This is a John Varvatos fragrance, and this is Rock Volume 1. Sadly, this thing has been discontinued. It was a limited edition release, very hard to find. I'm gracious enough to have a bottle of this fragrance. It's got coffee in it and rose. It really has a dark, unique and warming feeling to it. It's a good gourmand fragrance, and of course the note of coffee, the warmness of it, really reminds me of fall at number 18. Number 17 is a fragrance I don't think has been out of this top list for fall. I think it made every single year, and this is Paco Rabanne's 1 Million. This guy last year made it at number 6, and this is a good clubbing, going out scent. Definitely, even though it's getting a lot of flack lately, just because a lot of people are wearing it, right? Once it gets popular, people start hating. But this one, great longevity and projection. That's what I'm looking for in the cool weather, especially in Canada. A blood orange and cinnamon note in here that really reminds me of fall. The cinnamon, definitely that's the type of spice I'm looking for in the fall. And that's number 17. Number 16 is another newbie to this fall list. This is from He Wood, D Squared, Rocky Mountain Wood. I don't know if I hyped up this fragrance enough. If I have to, I'm going to keep doing it. Rocky Mountain Wood. Great outdoorsman cologne for the outdoorsman in you. Really reminds me of everything that's outdoors. Woods, florals, rocks. Really reminds me of just being in the Rockies somewhere. A lot of, really reminds me of the outdoors. This one has cedar and violet, and those are the two notes that really do remind me of fall. Really is cedar wood and the violet. Very, very nice in here. Number 16. Number 15. This is one fragrance that is fairly new to my stable. I've had it for what, 2 months now, 3 months? This is from the house of Carolina Herrera, and this is CH for Men, and this is very much a underrated fragrance, very much underrated. Not much talk on YouTube. This one has nice notes, sugar, leather, vanilla, very, very sweet. Very good for the club also, so something a little different from 1 Million, I would say. Definitely has that sugary note in here. Really reminds me of a Rocha Man, but much darker in a way. Not that candy sweetness, but it has like a darkness to it, almost like Givenchy Pie meets Rocha Man or Roca Man. So definitely a nice one at number 15. 14. This one totally reminds me of fall. Anybody that owns this will know this. This is Gucci Pour 2 or 2. Now this one doesn't have the longevity or the projection to really keep up with the cold, but I really like to wear this indoors. A great warming tea-like fragrance, great for daily wear. It's got cinnamon and black tea. That's totally fall right there. Really warms me up, and this is one that I actually wear if I'm indoors cuddling with the woman. Gucci Pour 2 works really, really well at number 14. 13. We're gonna go to the house of Hugo Boss, and this one is no stranger to fall. This is Boss Bottled. Again, I think this one is a masterpiece from the Hugo Boss line. This has an apple and cinnamon combo, warm apple pie-ish. The cinnamon in here and the apple in here reminds me of Thanksgiving, so I don't think I have to say much more about that. Number 12. Number 12 is from the house of Christian Dior. This one made a number 5 last year, so it dropped down a few spots at number 12. This is Fahrenheit. Now, Fahrenheit, we all know the petroleum violet leaf explosion. It's warm and dark at the same time. This thing is timeless. Hey, made in 1988, guys, and it's still selling like hotcakes. This thing is crazy. I really think the violet leaf and the leather in here really does evoke the feeling of fall. At number 11, we got fragrance from Hermes. This made number 4 last year in my top 10 fall, and it's going to make number 11 this year, and this is Terre d'Hermes. and this is the EDT edition. I really need to get the EDP. Tel d'Hermes is an earthy orange. Really has a warming quality, but it has so much depth to it. Jean-Claude Ellena is probably his masterpiece. I really think that this is one of his best fragrances to date. I think the orange and the vetiver in this fragrance really evokes the feeling for me of fall. Again, like earthy fragrances, wet or dry, really do remind me of fall. And this one at number 11 does the trick for me. So my top 10. There's a little bit of changes in the top 10. Let's take a look at it. At number 10, it's an Yves Saint Laurent, a YSL. Again, this one hasn't made any of my top 10 list as of late. This guy's M7. This is probably a sleeper hit right here. M7, well done oud by YSL. For the price tag, it actually may be the best oud-based fragrance on the market today by YSL. This is very much a fragrance that really reminds me, like the square and the color, it really reminds me of something that came out of the 80s or something. It looks dated, but either way, a beautiful fragrance. I really recommend this. And for the price, I think this is one of the best ouds on the market, like I said earlier. At number 10, M7. Number 9. Number 9 was on the list last year at number 3. So it did drop down a few, but it's still one of my favorites, and it's Mr. Thanksgiving in a bottle. You guessed it, Burberry London. Burberry London. Worn best with wool. If you got any wool clothing, wear this near Thanksgiving, and you're Mr. Festive. Definitely Burberry London. Really warming, and I really feel like when I'm wearing something with like a wool sweater or a wool scarf, forget about it. Burberry London, yeah. Number 8. Number 8 made the list last year at number 10. So moved up a little bit. And this is Narciso Rodriguez for him. This fragrance, Wet Cement, very mysterious, well done. I just finished reviewing this fragrance, and I really recommend you guys to go watch that video. This one is a great one. Very unique, dark, and well-balanced by Narciso Rodriguez. Very well done. Their first fragrance release for men. A good one. Let's take a look at number 7, which is from the House of Lalique. And I think this is the best thing that Lalique has ever done in fragrances. This was number 8 last year. It moves up at number 7. And this is Encre Noire. And this thing, beautiful, dark, smoky, vetiver-based fragrance. Very mysterious, black, and of course the note in here, vetiver. This thing is beautiful. You have to see my review on that one. That one is gorgeous. At number 7. Number 6 is a staple in my cool weather countdowns every year. Usually it's in the top 5. It just squeaked out of the top 5 this year. And it's not happy. This is by Jean-Paul Gaultier. This is Le Male. Was number 2 last year. This is a brand new bottle of mine. I think I opened it a few months ago. I haven't used much of it actually. I've been testing quite a bit these past months, but I'm happy that it's fall because I'm going to be using it a little more now. This one, vanilla, lavender, mint. This thing is going to overpower anything in your wardrobe, almost anything. Great longevity, great projection. Women love this. Wear it at the club, wear it on a date. Forget about it. Definitely vanilla in here, definitely beautiful. Beautiful fragrance. Le Male at number 6. Top 5. This is the one, the top 5 that's probably going to make your jaw drop a little bit because one house completely dominated. I've been wearing quite a bit of this house since fall has started just because I've been waiting, anticipating to wear these fragrances. And I really think that just because I've been waiting to wear these fragrances for so long that they are going to be my top 5. These other guys, yeah, they're great, but these guys I've been waiting endlessly. Let's go. Number 5. This is from the house of Thierry Mugler, and this is his newest release for men, Pure Havane. Now, Pure Havane was in my doghouse when I first got it in spring. I was like, no, I don't like it. Now that fall has come, well, this is of course made for fall, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to test it out. Holy Jesus, this thing's actually pretty good. I'm doing a 180 on it. This is a nice warming tobacco fragrance with a hint of honey and vanilla. It also has a sweet berry note in here. I'm trying to figure out what it is. Some people say it's cherry. We'll see. There is a fruity note in here that balances really well. And of course the note of tobacco is really the note that really stands out to me this fall. And this thing, very much underrated by me when I first got it. Not anymore. Number 5. That's a good introduction to Pure Havane in my top 5 or my top 20 fall. Number 4 is from the House of Christian Dior. This is their second fragrance in this top 20. The first one was Fahrenheit. This one is Dior Intense. And this guy's been talked about. I think the past 6 months this thing has been talked about non-stop. This thing, I don't even have to hype it up. This is warm and creamy, vanilla surrounded by cocoa. Very tasty, well-made gourmand by Dior. I really highly recommend this. This bottle I purchased when they first came out. I believe I got this at the end of 2010. I could be right, I could be wrong there. But I first purchased it then and I was blown away. And at number 4, the cocoa in here is what really makes it definitely at number 4. Great fragrance. And I am working on the review on that one and Pure Havane, just to let you guys know. 2012. It's going to be a good year. Good year. Number 3. Let's go back to the Thierry Mugler house. They're dominating, man. Number 3, this is going to be the all-star. The man that almost gets number 1 every year. This is Angel Men, the original. Warm, comforting. You got coffee in here. You got chocolate. You got tar. Just basically a gourmand's lover's wet dream. It's got everything. You name any of those tasty notes, you got it. It definitely does remind me of fall. This one, Angel Men, Amen, whatever you want to call it. This thing is a masterpiece and is definitely deserving at the number 3 spot. Number 2, Thierry Mugler. What's next? Number 2, it's Pure Malt, last year's number 1. So we got a new number 1. This guy, whiskey, berries, gourmandish. It's tame compared to the original as far as longevity and projection. It's easier to love though. It's not as harsh to the nose right off the bat. Definitely well done. It's still dark, very much complex, just like as the original, and warms you up real well. The whiskey in this, beautiful. Doing fireworks now. Number 1. Go back to the Thierry Mugler house. Yes, they do have 4 bottles in this top 5. Yes. Number 1 last year was number 9. It is Pure Coffee. I hear this guy's coming back. Coming back. Keep your eyes out. Pure Coffee, number 1. This thing is a beautiful gourmand. Coffee, caramel, sweet, delicious. A little less staying power than Angel Man, the original. Of course, kind of like Pure Malt. A little less longevity and projection. I really think that Pure Coffee is a little better than Pure Malt as far as longevity and projection goes. But this is probably the closest one as far as smell goes to the original Amen. I think Pure Malt is much easier to love. I think Pure Havane also. They do have that characteristic that's easier on the nose. Pure Coffee, yeah, it brings out coffee and chocolate a little bit more, but it's still close to the original Amen. And I think coffee is the main note in here that really does remind me of fall. Great fragrances all around. So guys, this is my top 20 designer fragrances for fall 2011. Thierry Mugler just freaking slapped every fragrance house right out of there. They dominated this year. So guys, this is Mark. This is my top 20 list for fall 2011. I hope you enjoyed it.